30 is the only company in the world able to design, produce, set up and manage a top-level competition. Everything within the same company. Everything with the trustworthiness and professionalism that an official competition requires. Everything. Top 30. Top 30. The heart of climbing.
Well, welcome back to Briançon. What did I tell you? I told you it would be packed. Have a little look behind me and you'll see just how packed this square has become over the past couple of hours. They were flooded in through those gates. We are here in the highest city in the EU to see some of the highest ranked climbers in the world try and achieve the highest ranked score on this wall just in front of me here. It's a 15-meter wall, 4 meters across. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. We had an insane semi-finals earlier today. A lot of random things going on. We've had Sachiyama cutting his chin open. That was yesterday. Still climbing today. In the finals here today. Sasha DiGiulian, who we thought wasn't in the finals, is in the finals. Kim Jae-in, who we were sure was going to be in the finals, now isn't in the finals. It's all been flipped on its head, but it's sure to be an absolutely phenomenal show. So stick with us. Welcome back. Say hello in the chat room. I'll be with you in a couple of seconds. But just now, we're going to bring you up those start lists and have a little look through them. We're going to show you the routes as well and what's been going on in it here in between. And we're also going to show you some of the show that's going on just behind me for the crowd that's here. I'll be with you in a couple of seconds. Let's have a look at those start lists. Here they are now. So this is our women's lead final start list as it stands. Just to introduce you in a moment's time to someone else. In fact, I'm going to have to do the start list first, I think, because we're kind of pressed for time. Yuka Kobayashi here, starting us off, followed by Sasha DiGiulian, Momoka Oda, Mina Markovic, Charlotte Durif, Katharina Posch, Helene Janicot, and Johanna Ernst. Those are our golden 8 women's finalists here. No scores currently on there because we haven't got started yet. But we are counting down with bated breath, ready for our finalists, our female finalists, to come out and show us exactly what they've got. The routes have gone crazy in between the time that we've been here for the semi-finals and here again now. We'll show you the wall in just a minute, but look in the background there, you can see just how packed the square is, and it's going to only get busier as we move into that final and move through for the rest of the day. Well, joining me, if you were here last year, if you were here in Briançon, watching, you will know the sound of this lady's voice. I am here with Sheila. How are you today?
I'm brilliant. Really happy to be back. Glad you're here with me. It's flying solo without a safety net.
I'm going to give you a bit more support, hopefully, this year than Johnny gave last year.
He was calling God on a great white telephone this week. That's where we go.
How's that working?
Is that even better? Now you can even hear what I'm saying.
Can you hear Sheila now? I just had a little bit of a moment there. I had to tell Sheila to turn her mic on.
Oh, there you go.
So we've had a bit of a start. Here we both are. Hello, good
Hi.
evening, how are we all? So I'm here with Sheila. Sheila was the lady that took you through Briançon last year, and actually one of our commentators, John, was really unwell. So you'll be familiar with the sound of Sheila's voice.
Happy to see you, everybody. Welcome back to Briançon. It's going to be even bigger and better than last year, and this time we've even got some notes to tell you something useful about the climbers instead of me prattling on without knowing what I'm talking about.
Let's have a look at the route as they're standing at the moment, Sheila.
Oh, it's mental.
It's just gone crazy, hasn't it, the wall?
It's 57 moves, I'm told, for the women.
57 holds here.
After a really, really demanding couple of qualification routes yesterday, the semis this morning were really hard. It took a long time.
Messieurs, dames, je voudrais qu'on applaudisse très fort, s'il vous plaît, Cécile. On va lui refaire une ovation. C'est une artiste internationale exceptionnelle. Elle nous a proposé, pour ouvrir cette première partie de la soirée, une démonstration au cercle. Ensuite, on retrouvera encore beaucoup de surprises.
Well, there you are. We just thought we'd start with that.
On va se régaler. Je crois qu'en approchant les 25 ans d'anniversaire de
you must remember this guy. This is the guy that we saw in Chamonix. He's the man that just kept shouting "woo" all the time.
Finalement, c'est plus non plus une exclusivité. Vous avez un câble qui est tendu. Ça, on vous proposera quelque chose tout à l'heure entre les deux phases de finale. En tout cas, pour en revenir à Cécile, tout à l'heure, elle sera en duo. Elle fait partie de la compagnie Flogab. Et Flogab, si vous voulez des informations, vous pouvez y aller sur leur site Flogab.
Okay, let's bring up the routes for you now and have a look at the routes.
Accompagné de Roman qu'on retrouvera tout à l'heure. Ils ont participé au
Well, this is the wall as it stands at the moment. As we were talking a moment ago about all these extra volumes that have just suddenly appeared.
Yeah, well, they grow like mushrooms around here.
Well, that on the right-hand side there, that's the women's final. There's very little that I can see other than one point in the middle of the women's wall there. There are very few holds that aren't crimped. All at the bottom here, there's two or three here. Couple more on the way up there.
Well,
More
that
on the way.
volume is just like a pancake anyway. It's not. There's nothing to grip as such, and they've very helpfully chalked on about 5 handholds. Well, they obviously don't have the hands that I have. But I think I might take a little walk around the back in a second to see what's behind that kind of stalactite thing that's hanging off of the big pyramid-shaped one in the middle, because there's got to be something more going on there than what we can see from
The point that she was talking about, that's the 21st to 22nd hole there onto the 24th that you can see on your screen. And there is the map of the route, just lit up for you in just a normal colour, so you don't see all the numbers that cloud the back of the wall there. That's the route that the women are climbing. That's quite a sporadic route, isn't it? That's not necessarily straight. They're coming all the way over into almost onto the men's wall here.
Yeah, well, it's all about getting the extra length to get as many moves out of this wall as they can, and they've certainly done that. You were saying about crimps, I could see a couple of slopers on the upper stretches, which are just going to kill them because they'll be running out of steam. There's pinches, there's buttons that look like they should just be for your feet, and I fear they may be for your hands. There's some round ones, there's everything. They're throwing everything at them by the kitchen sink, and I think that might be reserved for the final move. But it's a nightmare. Even the two qualifier rounds were particularly demanding, slightly shorter obviously, and then the semi today on the back of that was really hard, as we were saying earlier, that nobody topped it. We diced with topping it, with 4 girls and then held it and then lost it, or 3 anyway, but 4 perhaps, and you know, you were seeing people who you normally would bet the house on getting to the top, and they just weren't. It was an incredibly demanding thing, and the first half of the board didn't get past, you see where the black diamond sticker is, well, that equivalent of, even if they were running up the left-hand side, but they didn't get any higher than that. So it was getting pretty, we were all kind of looking at each other saying this is going to be decided on countback, and then those who had topped the 2 routes in the qualifiers actually came out and started to move on up. But it's going to be an amazing women's final, and then, I mean, what on earth are they going to throw at the men?
19h30, donc maintenant la présentation des 8 finalistes, les meilleures grimpeuses du monde.
So at the moment we've got Christopher, who is our national speaker for the French competitions. He's introducing the whole competition or this evening's competition to the crowd, which is filling up nicely. Got to bear in mind that, you know, there's some people here who aren't climbers. They're just here on holiday. They heard there's some noise going on, and they've popped by to see what it's all about. So they have to present the whole thing to them. But he's very used to this. He knows all the climbers. Here's the women on the stage. There's a few surprises there, a couple of people we didn't expect to see, and a couple of people who aren't there that we did expect to see. You'll notice that Jane Kim is not there because she ran out of time on her semi-final route, and so that was the end of her. We have no Angela Eiter this year, we had no Maya Wittmar, so it's an unusual final. We've got 2 Japanese, we've got 2 French, which is good because it was only Charlotte Durif last year. But this time we've got Helene Janicot, who's a personal friend of mine, and I'm absolutely made up that she's in the final. She totally deserves it.
Okay, we're going to hand over to the French compere while he introduces and we get the crowd response. So as they're announced, and we'll come back to you in just a second.
Fair enough.
Elle a une victoire en Coupe d'Europe en 2011, multiple fois championne des États-Unis. C'est le gros retour ici sur le territoire français de mademoiselle Sasha DiGiulian, USA. Troisième finaliste, elle arrive elle aussi de l'équipe du Japon. Elle était championne du monde minime en 2008, c'était à Sydney. Elle a fait son premier podium en Coupe du Monde la semaine dernière du côté de Chamonix où elle a terminé troisième. Elle est en forme en ce moment. From Japan, Miss Momoka Oda. Quatrième finaliste, la numéro 1 mondiale du classement général de la Coupe du Monde la saison dernière. 5 victoires en 2011, plus 2 victoires en Coupe du Monde de bloc. Elle a remporté la première étape de la saison. Applaudissements s'il vous plaît pour celle qui nous vient de Slovénie, la tornade Mina Markovic. Cinquième finaliste, là ça va être à vous d'être Jova. Elle arrive de l'équipe de France, c'est une légende, 5 fois championne du monde, championne d'Europe à 16 ans. Elle avait remporté la Coupe du Monde de Cham en 2010, elle est championne de France en titre. Une grande falaisiste, applaudissements pour Charlotte Durif. Prochaine finaliste, la jeunesse autrichienne, plusieurs victoires en Coupe d'Europe. Elle était 5e au dernier championnat du monde d'Arco. C'est vraiment la nouvelle recrue autrichienne qui va faire très très mal et probablement à Bercy. Elle a 3 podiums en Coupe du Monde la saison dernière. Applaudissements pour Katharina Posch, Austria. Elles ont fait du très bon travail. On a rentré 2 Françaises en finale après les belles demi-finales de ce matin. Elle a plusieurs victoires en Coupe d'Europe. Elle a terminé 2e à Chamonix en 2010. C'était sa première Coupe du Monde. Elle était cadette première année. Elle a déjà été aussi vice-championne du monde dans sa carrière. Applaudissements pour la Française Helene Janicot. Et elle est en forme en ce moment, Helene. Et la dernière finaliste, si on remonte il y a 3 ans en arrière, c'était la déesse incontestable de la saison. Elle avait remporté 5 Coupes du Monde en 2009. Cette année-là et l'année d'avant, en 2008, premier championnat d'Europe à Bercy. Elle était cadette première année, elle a raflé le titre de championne d'Europe. Cette année, après 2 années de blessure, elle revient vraiment en forme. Elle est de l'équipe d'Autriche. Applaudissements pour Johanna Ernst, Austria. Allez, innovation de Briançon, tout le monde lève les bras, s'il vous plaît, pour les finalistes. Allez, qu'on voit si vous aussi vous êtes en forme ce soir. Les gradins là-bas, les gradins au fond, tapez pied dans les gradins. Voilà, ça c'est bon. Et puis maintenant, comme le veut la tradition, la compétition est à vue. On va leur proposer 6 minutes pour découvrir la voix qui va être redoutable. Observation time. C'est parti pour les 6 minutes, on les laisse tranquilles en musique. Alors, aussi pendant ce temps-là, vous l'avez découvert sur les qualifications et sur les demi-finales. Lui aussi, je voudrais que vous lui fassiez.
Look at that crowd there that's waiting to get their eyes onto what's going on here. The timer is going now, giving these 8 female athletes their opportunity to have a look at the route in front of them. Interesting to see the pairings here. Keep your eye on who pairs up with who. Well, there's Katharina Posch and Johanna Ernst pairing up, having a conversation. No surprise there. They both speak German. They're both from the Austrian team. And more interesting thing, Yuka and Momoka aren't actually together. They're separate. I know that Mina Markovic gets on quite well as well with Sasha DiGiulian. So are they going to have a chat? Yeah, look, they're gathering again there. It's always interesting to see how the athletes pair up when they are discussing the routes. Sometimes no one will go and speak to one athlete, or they'll get groups of different people. There's a shot for you of them looking up. And as I said, you can tell straight away whose team these guys are on, both on the same team, both from Austria.
Well,
saw in the final with Ray
speak,
Sugimoto.
probably an advantage of speaking the same language, but it's always nice to have someone that you're used to reading routes with. I know that Katharina Posch and Helene Janicot are quite good friends, for example, and I've seen them reading routes together, so it really depends who you've got with you. But it's nice for Momoka Oda to have a teammate with her in the final. That's unusual as well. I've just been round the back to have a look at the back of that stalactite type gizmo that's hanging off the pyramid-shaped volume, and there's nothing on it. There's a small foothold, but that we can see that one from here. There's really nothing extra for them to be able to get around that particular obstacle. So it'll be very, very interesting to see how they read this route. The other thing is that we have some small finalists. We have some relatively tall finalists. Charlotte, for example, is a bit taller than, say, Mina, and Helene is taller, I think, than everybody else. You've got the really small ones, and Katharina Posch is tall, but you've got the Japanese and Sasha. They're all pretty small, and they're obviously not going to have the same approach to getting around these problems.
Okay, so what you're looking at now, this is the top section of the wall, the high up section of the wall, the third section as I'll call it. We're going to break that wall into 3 sections. So the first is going to be the flat, and then the second will be the overhang, and the third and final section is obviously that flat at the top with that little bit of an incline off from the middle. This is 39 up to 60, so this is how many holds that we have here. A phenomenal amount of holds. I've been told that the women's route is going to be an 8B, but they said that in the semis. And that was one hell of a hard route.
They said it was an 8B for the girls and an 8C in the semis for the guys. And, well, there's a whole discussion about that. I heard them say one time that they don't actually seek to make the final harder than the semi. It's the semi that's going to actually sort out the girls from the women from the girls. And it's more about putting on the show for the finals. So well, it's maybe just a bit longer, but not technically more difficult. But having a look at this, quite frankly, it just looks really, really nasty. You see the route setters, and they seem like nice, normal people, but they're obviously
Alberto's our head route setter here, the Italian route setter. He did a fantastic job during the qualifications. We ran into a few difficulties with the semis, but the route was just so hard in the semis. Not a single top at all today if you joined us from earlier. So we're going to have a little look at who's joining us in the chat, so give us a shout out. Do say hello to us.
Je profite pour dire bonsoir à tous les Français qui nous ont rejoints sur le chat. C'est Sheila du Club Vertige près de Lyon. Donc cette année, j'arrive à regarder le chat pendant que vous nous rejoignez. Et pour vous dire que ici à Briançon, il fait un temps excellent, il y a juste un peu de vent qui s'est levé, donc il ne fera pas trop chaud. Mais bien sûr que dès qu'on a plus le soleil, ça va chuter la température. Mais le mur est phénoménal et l'ambiance aussi. Donc si vous ne pouvez pas être ici, surtout prenez-vous quelque chose à boire, quelque chose à manger et surtout restez cloués à vos écrans parce que ça va être énorme.
Okay, and here we are, we're back with the athletes having another little look at the wall. They're on 4 minutes 45 now. Not long left before they'll have to go round to the back, get into ISO and get ready to start making their attempts on the wall here. The crowd is absolutely rammed at the moment. You can see some of the athletes. There's Mina Markovic using binoculars to have a look at the top of the wall. That just shows you just how high the walls are here. I noticed a lot of the Japanese athletes doing that as well. Look at that crowd that's building up in the background. We're just sitting at the front there, right in front of the wall. Sasha DiGiulian looks like she wants to start already. It's looking like she's not going to wait around much longer. Oh, and Yuka is talking to Momoka. That's the difference. There we got there. Momoka is talking to Yuka. There they are, both using the binoculars again. 15 meters high this wall by 4 meters wide. And that route is just phenomenal. 60 holds. Some really interesting volumes there on the way up. That point on the overhang is going to be absolutely fascinating to watch. It looks like there's quite a good hold there on the second volume in from the right. On that hold, but not much going on the center hold. You've kind of got a piggyback hold going on with those two. They've stuck a volume on a volume. That looks quite unusual. I don't think I've really seen that before. It's such a large volume on a volume. But then that center,
I don't really know quite what to say about it, to be honest with you.
And that center volume is quite large, so hopefully we'll hold it
I
up.
think you'll find that there's going to be a bit of thigh hugging going on around that, and well, good luck to them. But
well, there's an underhang shot of the wall, so you can see just how steep it is there.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 sections I'm talking to you about, so if you do catch me shouting out, oh, section 2 now, section 3, that's what I'll be talking about. How are we doing in the chat room? Are we psyched? Are we looking forward to this? Have a guess at how many people you think we've got here. Have a guess at how many people you think are in that one shot there.
Oh, it's going to fill up. I can see some tarmac there. There's not
A
going to
prize
be
for
any
who
of
can
that
spot
next
Wally.
round when the boys start.
Toutes les deux, ça fait très longtemps qu'elles ne sont pas montées sur un podium de Coupe du Monde. Donc je pense qu'elles en ont très envie. Très envie.
So I'm not sure. I mean, Chile, you were in Chamonix. Do you think we've got more, or do you think we've got
I
less?
wasn't there. I was following
Oh, no,
on
oh, yeah, we were watching online.
IFSC live feed, of course. My husband Owen was there.
There's a guy eating a baguette. This is our start list as it stands. So we're going to start in reverse order. Yuka Kobayashi there, Sasha DiGiulian, Momoka Oda, and Mina Markovic all scored a 53 plus earlier, and then that just splits our list right in half. This shows you what the semi-finals were like, because then we've got Charlotte Durif, Katharina Posch, Helene Janicot, and Johanna Ernst, who all scored 55 pluses. They were just touching that 56 hole, but didn't
Well, if I
manage to
say
top.
to you that nearly an hour after the semi-finals, Sasha and Dinara from Russia were still hanging about trying to figure out if they were in the final or not, because there was a few appeals and so on. And the countback was particularly complicated because it wasn't the usual scenario where the top 8 have topped out the first 2 routes and then they do the semi and so on. It's a mental. This is not the final that anybody would have predicted. Look, Jane Kim isn't here.
Kim Jane as well.
Yeah, because she got timed out, which is, well, we can talk about time later, because next year it's going to change, and it's going to change everything.
Such a shock to not see our world number 2 in a final here.
Yeah. So the slower team climbers have definitely been penalised there, but it just goes to show you that it was a hard route, because that's a very fluid climber normally. Jane Kim, she doesn't tend to hang around, she has her rest, it's all very fluid though, but she really had to stop and think, and that was it. She was caught out of time, so that's the way the cookie crumbles. But it's all, everybody was very, very tight. As you said, in the semis, we had to go back to the qualifiers to figure out who was going forward, and that's how it went.
Let's have another little look at the chat room. Give us a shout out from where you are joining us from now. I want to know where you are in the world, what the time is, and what the weather's like. And then in a moment, we'll get on to some predictions, what we think the predictions are.
You really are British, aren't you, Daniel?
I am British.
Fixated with the weather. Unbelievable.
12:44 in Dallas, and it's hot. Nice
What
to see
time
you
is
joining
it with
us
you
again.
in Dallas?
Again, Scott, is that 12:44 at night, or is it 12:44 during the day? That is an interesting point there as well from Kenji. 2 Japanese climbers in the final. Israel, Holland, Estonia.
Where are the French? Oh, they're all here.
That's a good point. Where are the French? They're all behind us. Virginia, Belgium, Rhode Island, Germany. This just goes to show what kind of spread we have here, with all the amount of people that from around the world coming to join us. Scotland, hello to you. How are you this evening? Just an hour behind us there as well. Crowd are getting riled now. They want to see a good show here tonight, and I'm sure you guys want to see a good show here on the IFSC.tv website. Just a reminder to you guys, get onto the IFSC.tv Twitter, get onto the 24/7 TV Facebook page. You can find a load of behind-the-scenes photography shots there as well for what happens in between the semis and the finals, what happens in between the qualifications and the semis. You can see us setting up. And here we are here. Well, good evening to you. My name is Daniel Finn. I'll be with you all the way through this final here in Briançon. I was in Chamonix last week. The crowds, they're absolutely phenomenal with the heavens opened. We're off to Imst in a couple of weeks. And we've got the Munich Bouldering World Cup still to come, the final Bouldering World Cup of 2012, to make some decisions for us there. Here you can see some of the athletes sitting down at the front, having a bit of a rest, it seems, after earlier today. There's Barbara Bacher just chilling out.
Well, she had a really great climbing outfit. She had a sort of an integrated, what do you call those in English? Harness, integrated in a sort of a skirt type thing you would expect to see at Wimbledon. It was a pair of shorts under a skirt. It was the first time I've seen that.
I asked her if I could get one that was a men's size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
We're not
coming
going to talk
soon
about
to a
that.
cinema near
Let's
you.
not talk about that.
No,
That's
let's
fine.
not.
I don't mind that.
I'll tell you what we could talk about though is that this year the World Championships are going to be in Paris, in Bercy in Paris. If you hear the French going on and on about Bercy, it's this huge omnisport palace just to the east of Paris. And the whole French climbing community is absolutely obsessed with it. If you go onto the FFME, that's the Federation website, they've got a teaser up, which is fantastic. For the first time, we're going to have the handy sport people competing at the same time as the speed and the bouldering and the lead. It's just going to be mental. And guess who's going
And
to
you
be
know what
there?
else? You know what else is going to happen? The IFSC.TV crew are going to be there as
And
well.
I'm going to be there too, so I guess I'll see you there.
So yeah, we are going to be there, bringing you live coverage of that. I was privileged enough to have an interview earlier with Pierre-Henri about their preparations.
The technical
for the
director.
And talking to you about that, you'll be able to catch that actually on YouTube very shortly. If you go onto the IFSC.TV YouTube channel, you can have a look at the interview that I did with Pierre-Henri, who is the IFSC secretary. Let's have a look at the routes now. Again, on the wall, here we are, we'll count you through. This is it from 11. And we'll count you up that wall very briefly because we are getting ready for our first climber. Yuka is now on the stage.
This is Yuka's first World Cup final, so she's got to be pretty excited about this. She was very impressive in the semi, and she topped the second qualifier. Everybody she seemed really surprised. The rest of the Japanese team were obviously very happy with that. They've got a great team spirit in the Japanese team.
So scores for Yuka Kobayashi as they stand at the moment of Japan in the qualifications: a 42 plus and a 38 plus. You can see the timer just next to her starting off there. 8 minutes our climbers have to get to the top. In the semi-finals earlier today, a 53 plus on the wall. 24-year-old Yuka Kobayashi from Japan, born in Ibaraki, lives in Nakagun, Ibaraki Ken. If any of you are joining us from anywhere near there or over in Japan, do say hello to us in the chat room. We want to see some support now for Yuka as the crowd dies down to give her a bit of respite from the cheering.
Ok, Chou on the chat, pourquoi tu dis c'est la loose? Qu'est-ce qui va pas? Dis-nous, dis-nous. On va essayer de remédier à ton problème.
World ranked 45th, Yuka Kobayashi, so phenomenal to see her here. Currently this year though, in 18th position on the World Cup rankings 2012. That was after, of course, Chamonix last week. She's been as high as 10th before on the World Cup rankings. That was in 2010 though. Second at the Asian Continental Championships, Guangzhou in 2008. Sheila, take us through some of these holds now that Yuka's approaching now.
Well, as you can see, this one's an inverse and it's a two-hand job, and then these large ones, they're having to move from slopers to inverses to large, almost volumes rather than holds, so it's a wide hand grip.
And those that switching from
yeah,
kind of crimp-like holds to
exactly.
slopers is really going to take it out in
the other,
hands.
and that's really going to give them. No, I tell you, they're throwing everything at them here. It's an extremely varied route. Look at these. I wouldn't be able to hang my washing on this, never mind myself.
There you can see just how small some of them are, and these are actually not the smallest on the wall. And that switch between crimp and slope is really going to take it out on her hands. We're going to see that lactic acid building up. That score's coming to you now live from the judges that are sitting down here. 21 currently, Yuka Kobayashi.
Just to mention that those numbers that you see as they're coming up, there's a guy at the side of the route frantically punching a button every time someone gets a new handhold, but it's by no means the official score that the climber will have when they come down, because it can be all sorts of stuff happen, as we saw this morning. So,
but you get the joy there of having the live results coming straight to you.
Oh no, it's great to see. It gives a very good general idea, but it's not the official one. So there we go, she's let go.
And it's definitely something that they're not getting in the live crowd. I can see our feed up on the big screen to the side now. The results aren't up on there, so you guys are getting them in the chat and the live crowd aren't.
Nice rest on her heels there.
RJ, nice to see you. This is Sheila just next to me. She's my co-commentator. She was our commentator last year here at Briançon. Now here we can see these interesting set of volumes. Look at
Oh,
that
that
heel
is
hooker
nasty.
just rocking
That
it out.
is nasty. Tell you, they're sadists.
I told you that would be interesting. How
Well,
are we
when
all in
you
the
see
chat
the
room?
size of her, and you wonder how Sasha is going to do that, because she's got a good 3 or 4 inches on her.
Yeah. Can we get some support for Yuka in the chat room? Let's get some gambas coming in. 3 minutes 30 now of her 8 minutes. But already onto the second section of the wall, the overhang here.
I don't know if you can see that little white chalk mark just where she's leaving her right hand. That indicates where there is a hold above their eye line, so they're not flailing about looking for something that isn't there.
But as you can see, already on the 33rd hold, less than 4 minutes, so currently moving very well on the wall.
It's quite a long roof section, so they're going to be tired coming out, and then it's onwards and upwards to the right.
Ravid, just to let you know, yep, the gradings of the routes, it's an 8B for the women. So potentially the same as the semi-finals.
But much longer.
But much longer, which of course, I would say, steps it up a notch, surely to an 8B+.
Alors en plus de ça, et ça prend doublement son ampleur dans les compétitions à vue, donc dans les demi-finales et dans les finales, c'est qu'en plus de se reposer, elle affine l'observation.
Okay, that's a nice move with her heel to move up and get this, but yet again, with the incline that there is there, that is just not nice.
Just getting that right foot on now, hopefully to give her the height to get onto that second kind of piggyback volume hold that we've
but
got.
that's with your elbow up and you're leaning back.
That's kind of almost like a sideways mantle there, though.
Yeah.
Let's see how she's going to handle this.
So up onto the football. She's doing really well here. Really well here. The crowd are behind her. This is good. It's only going to get worse from here on. I mean, look at what she's got.
Let's have a look at these
get over
tablets.
to that right-hand volume.
There you are. You can see one of our local judges updating the score as it's happening. There's the current hold. That's what's feeding you the scores now live. Yuka doing incredibly well here. She was 8th at Cranch in 2010, 4th at Haji in 2010, 2nd at Zinning in 2010. She's world ranked 45th at the moment, and she's kind of, at the moment, making mincemeat out of this wall.
She's nailed that. Now she's going to have to swing over to the right, and she must be dying. It's horrible.
Well, this is going to be the make or break point, I think, for her.
This is amazing, but she hasn't clipped on to the left there. Well, she's done it now. She's got the rope up with her knees. She'll be able to do that safely. But the rope's hooked on under the volume. I think she's getting the stage where she's thinking, do I go for this and forget the clip? Yep.
Just a quick message to me
Back and do
in the chat room. I'm definitely not going to. Not at this final. It's too important. The semis have been too good so far. And already this final
if she moves anymore, she's not going to be able to clip on without climbing down, and the judges will call her down. And if she doesn't clip on and she does let go, she is going to swing. So the best thing she do is clip on above her head just for safety.
Alors le président, allez, on peut l'encourager pour l'instant, on va laisser aller, voilà, elle l'a vu, elle l'a vu. Ça c'est bien, ça c'est une innovation, elle l'a vu. Ne vous inquiétez pas, elle parle pas français. Et ils n'ont pas non plus d'oreillette. Gamba!
There's so much noise here. I'm talking over Daniel because I can't hear a word he's saying.
That's the crowd there, that's the crowd being as loud as they are. But look at where Yuka Kobayashi is now. Of Japan, world ranked 45th. I mean, what are we thinking in the chat room about whether this is going to be a route problem for us? Do we think the route's too easy, really? Or do we think, oh,
fantastic climb.
Unbelievable
That's
start.
amazing.
Phenomenal start. What an incredible kickoff to our final here in Briançon 2012. I mean, set the bar high or what?
I was going to say sets the tone, that's amazing.
So, we're about to be joined by Sasha DiGiulian, who's undoubtedly sitting in the ISO now thinking what is going on out the front with those screams, and that Yuka's been out there quite a while. Let's see whether that is a mental thing for her.
I think I saw that there was 7 minutes 40 on the clock, so she only had a few seconds left to finish the route anyway. She probably would have run out of time, but goodness, for a first climber, that's an amazing job.
It might come down to time today. That is something that a lot of you are saying in the chat room. It could be that. Maybe it's that the route is too easy. We don't know. Let's see what happens when we move through to Sasha. You could definitely make that look easy. Very slow, steady control, but moving through. The crowd are absolutely loving it. You can see there, I did promise you before. Well, there it is. It's most of Briançon they've turned up. So a couple of seconds just to reset the relays before we are joined by Sasha DiGiulian of the US. We will keep chatting to you guys in the chat room or watching the live IFSC.tv feed. Don't forget to get onto Twitter and onto Facebook.
Why is someone saying Sasha isn't doing it? She definitely is doing it. She's about to do it now.
Yeah, that's a good point. She has to. And just to prove that point, here is Sasha DiGiulian. Cheers from the crowd for this 19-year-old athlete from Alexandria in the US, world ranked 18th. She has disappeared this year from the bouldering circuit, which we were disappointed by, but of course she loves being on rock, Sasha. She likes being out, climbing outside. She's not a big gym training climber like some of the other climbers are. She just loves climbing in beautiful places.
Yeah, between Chamonix, I was talking to her today, and between Chamonix and here, she was down at Seus, and she'll be going down to Seus again afterwards, and then she's off to, I can't remember where. She just rhymed off all this list of like your 10 favourite climbing spots.
Well, she's just come back from Iceland as well.
That's right, yeah.
Spain is a really frequent place for her to visit to go climbing. Let's just list off some of her previous achievements. First, at the female junior lead European Youth Cup in Imst in 2011. Second, at the World Bouldering IFSC World Championships in Arco last year, second place there. And she is also a North American champion. That was at Montreal in 2008. On some of the IFSC ones now as well. We saw her in Chamonix just recently. She was in the final, but she ended up 6th there. 7th at Boulder 2011, 6th at Perth 2011, and 8th at Chamonix last year. So quite a record there. She's currently sitting pretty at 6th on the World Cup rankings 2012.
I think if I had one question about Sasha, it might be her endurance, because although she does do these outside cliff outings, I saw her last year in Chamonix, for example, and she just seemed to run out of steam in the last third of the route, which was much shorter. I don't know, we'll just need to wait and see. She was looking okay today, but not as good as I've seen her. Not quite as peppy, not quite as bright.
Oh, that's an interesting point I've just seen in the chat room as well, about Sasha earlier being 9th from more. We did think that Sasha wasn't going to be in the finals here. Dinara Bakardinova looked set to be in the finals, and then after reviewing the videos, the IFSC officials reviewed the finalist list, and Sasha was on there.
That's right. For a while she was 9th, and then she was told she was 8th, joined 8th, and then she ended up being 7th. So there must have been a few appeals
in the chat room. Sasha's world ranking currently stands at 18th, but her World Cup ranking this year is up to 6th. So
let's see how she negotiates this move, because I was saying that she's shorter than the previous competitors. See, that's a right stretch for her, and it's really nasty. And now she's got to heft herself over. Well, she doesn't weigh much, but still.
You can see the strength in her legs, though. She's smearing there.
Oh, she's just all muscle.
There is no hold on that left foot. She's just smearing.
No, nicely done, very smooth.
Sasha DiGiulian, about 159 in terms of height. Just for Lethal Larry there asking questions. Kay Buccio. Is that Alex Buccio's mum?
Allez, come on, Sasha.
just in response to your question there, I'm not sure whether she is going to be... Ah, it is Alex Puccio's mum. Hello, nice to see you again. You were with us for the Veil World Cup. I'm not sure whether Sasha is going to be doing all the lead cups this year because she's so keen to be on rock in Europe at the moment. She wasn't sure whether she was going to be doing all of them. We're really hoping that she does, though, because the crowd absolutely loves Sasha DiGiulian.
Well, she's a really tidy climber, you know, it's a lovely style that she has.
Very smooth.
Yeah.
You can see here on the screen for you now, this is how it stands at the moment. A 58 plus there for Yuka Kobayashi, 2 moves away from the top of the wall.
I was going to say the fact that she did do all that bouldering before, look at that, that's a classic bouldering move, and she has the dino move. Although I know on the chat a lot of people keep saying she's only ever static, but I don't think that's quite fair.
And as those results come in from the judges, obviously you'll get to see, when we bring them to you from the live results, just where all the girls are standing on the live results. Only one climb so far, that's Yuka.
Let's see how she takes
right now with Sasha. And a little bit of Queen. Who else loves climbing to Queen?
Charlie, the DJ, he's been working these songs since the beginning of the week when we had the French Youth Championships, Youth Cup and the Veteran Championships. So he had all his old favourites out for the grey hairs, and then he had some of the more modern stuff for the younger kids. It was great, really good.
What are the bets in the chat room at the moment? What are you thinking for Sasha's climb here? Are we daring to say top, or are we going to give it a number?
Oh, she misses the foot, she missed it. Manages to pull it back. So she's going to want to change her foot back now, there we go.
You can see some of the coverage we're showing you here as well. There's where Sasha DiGiulian currently is, on the 50th hold there. She's got to get up to that 58 and over that if she wants to bunk Yuka off the top spot. You can see some of the angles we're bringing you here. We've got a lot of coverage. Bringing it to you live, uninterrupted on IFSC.tv. Love having you guys with us in the chat room as well. We've already been streaming for a total of 16 hours in the past 2 days. Another 5 to go, but we're kicking that last one off in style now. Come on, Sasha, let's see what you got. Let's get some support in the chat room for Sasha DiGiulian, 19-year-old, world ranked, number 18. Oh! So far, could this be it? The crowd are sending her home.
Oh!
Unbelievable.
Great
that
job,
last
Sasha.
dino stumping her there. But a smile on her face, and what an applause from the crowd now. A score of 59 plus. This is going to be the same as the semis. I can see it coming on. It's going to be just like the semis. All of our climbers are going to end up with that last little jump. Could we see a repeat? Just under 7 minutes there, Sasha. She still had a minute to go. Could you climb 15 meters of wall with 60 holds like this on an 8B route in 6 minutes 58 seconds? I might be able to climb it in 6 weeks 58 seconds with a step ladder, possibly some sort of bungee cord and or pogo stick. DJ, no, she doesn't get another go. That is it. Her score stands at 59 plus. Loving it.
Seems to be some discussion going on with the judges there. I'm not quite sure what the thing is. I'm trying to look out of my corner of my eye to see what the deal is. I don't know whether there might have been some
going
kind
on
of
with the judges. Okay, guys, so let's have a little talk through who we've got still to come. Momoka Oda, Mina Markovic, Charlotte Durif, Katharina Posch, Helene Janicot, and Johanna Ernst. Who do we think is going to be in our top 3 here? That's my next question to you guys. Who do we think is going to be our top 3? I want 3 names from people now.
Well, it looks like we might be investigating another shoe bolt incident with Sasha there. I didn't see it myself.
Right, so we've just found out that it looks like we might be witnessing another, what has become known as the shoe bolt incident with Jakob Schubert. It looks like we might have a similar thing going on with Sasha, and that's why the judges are chatting. I don't know what's going on there. I will keep you updated with that as soon as I hear about it. I promise you that now. Don't ask me, I do not know. I don't know what happened there. I don't know when it came because I didn't see it myself. But the judges have got eyes like hawks.
That's what they're there for.
So we'll see.
Momoka Oda is still a youth B, 2nd year, so really young. She's certainly come on this year. She's slimmed down, she's muscled up.
She's had a haircut.
She's had a haircut.
It's all going on.
She's really made a brilliant start to this year. She was in the final at Chamonix. She came 3rd, which was most unexpected. Just in front of Helene Janicot and behind Jean Kim and Mina Markovic, who of course won it.
SD Lonergan, no, the shoe bolt incident is the Jakob Schubert incident, which has been renamed the shoe bolt incident, which is from Chamonix. If you want to catch what that was all about, get yourself onto YouTube and have a little look at the Chamonix finals. Actually, the semi-finals, sorry there. The semi-finals, that was the shoe bolt incident. Borg, that's exactly what we're waiting to find out now. The judges are having that discussion just to my right-hand side, and as soon as we know anything about Sasha, I will keep you updated. Let's just bring you back onto the wall now, though. Momoka Oda of Japan in the semi-finals earlier today, 53 plus. In the qualifications, 2 tops. World ranked number 11. World Cup rank at the end of 2011 was 11 as well. In 2010 was 12. But this year alone, I know we've only had 1 lead World Cup, but anyway, she's 3rd. So there you are, she was 3rd at Chamonix, which means that currently on our World Cup rankings for 2012, she is 3rd. Only 18 years old, born in 94. And the disturbing thing is that actually there's a younger climber on the wall coming as well. 18 and minus, that's just insane for the standing that some of these climbers have at such an early age. Momoka Oda, 1st at the Female Youth B-Lead IFSC Climbing World Youth Championships in Sydney in 2008. You're watching a World Youth Champion climb. That is the scores as they stand at the moment. Sasha DiGiulian, 59 plus. Yuka Kobayashi at 58 plus, which puts Sasha in 1st place. But does it? The judges are having a conversation. I will keep you updated as soon as we know.
It's amazing when you think about this move that she just did. That's the kind of thing they only ever expected guys to do up until even, I don't know, last year, I guess. It was, people were still oohing and eyeing when the guys were doing it. Now they're getting the girls. To all of those of you out there who say this is just gym on a wall, I mean, really, it's not anymore. The women are no longer just doing ballet and looking pretty. There's serious physical effort going on here, and it's very technical too.
Just to answer a question to you guys in the chat, no, Sasha didn't top earlier. She dynoed onto the final hold, which is the 60th hold on the wall here. So currently the score is at 59 plus. She didn't quite make that final hold, and that meant that she didn't top. But of course, we've got this situation going on with the judges that looks like it could be similar to the shoe bolt incident. We'll have to wait and see, and we'll keep you updated as it comes in. Just to go through some of Momoka Oda's other scores as well. 8th at Briançon last year, so she made the finals last year but placed last.
Yes, she did, yeah.
And then 5th at Chamonix in 2011, although she was 3rd there this year. Let's see whether she can knock some of those ranks off here at Briançon and not end up at last in the finals last time as well.
Well, she was very impressive in qualifying, and I wouldn't put it past her to pull this one off. Piece of completely useless information that will interest nobody, but I'm going to say it anyway. She is my daughter Sophie's favourite climber. Sophie is 11.
Personal information, I don't mind. No, the illegal thing that we think might have happened, I think, is, can you see just at the bottom of the screen there, that little black clip that's hanging out in between the 2 kind of stalactite-like volumes? I think Sasha might have actually missed that clip. But we are waiting to find out what's going on. with the judges on that one. Don't seem to see any of the girls having a problem with the first two sections of the wall. It seems to be right at the very top. This is kind of an all or nothing wall by the look of things. Right up there. Both of them. BR3, yes, we had that whole incident earlier as well. I thought Dinara Fakhrudinova would have made the finals. Apparently that all changed. The judges changed that around. They were watching. I went in earlier and saw them as they were debating who was going to make it into the finals. I don't know whether it was a timing thing or a countback thing. If it was a countback, Sasha didn't have two tops in the semi-finals. Sorry, the qualifications. Sasha didn't have two tops, she only had one, and Dinara did have two tops. So I'm not sure exactly why the judges have made that call, but that's how it stood, and Sasha DiGiulian has made the finals. She's just climbed, if you just missed us. If you're just joining us, you're watching the live feed of Briançon 2012 Lead World Cup finals here in France. We're way up in the Alps, we're in the highest city in the EU. We're 1,326 meters above sea level in this fortified town. Beautiful setting to watch some phenomenal climbing.
Yeah, it's great here, and there's also an awful lot of climbing sites in and around Briançon. So for a holiday destination, it's become ours every year for the past 3 years. Come and see all the experts do it, and then make a fool of yourself trying to do the same thing.
Carlos from Philly asks, just so we're clear, are countbacks eliminated completely? In the case of a tie, is only time considered?
No, if they're all, say everybody topped it tonight, it would all go on to count back into the qualifiers, and basically we would be in the order of the start list. And then between Helene and Mina, who are joined completely equal at the moment, it would all be down to time.
Yeah, so that's how it's working at the moment. Just guys from Montciend as well saying they're clever that about Sasha climbing last, a few people watching. Are you honestly telling me that you're not glued to the screen right now watching Momoka Oda on 58 and pushing up for the top here? Can you honestly say you want to be anywhere else right now?
Yes!
Momoka
Fantastic!
Oda, tops out on the wall here. There's no way this guy's finishing last in the final this year, I can tell you that now. The crowd are going wild. We have our first top, ladies and gentlemen. Momoka Oda of Japan, the 18-year-old climber, bests her teammate Yuka Kobayashi and bests Sasha DiGiulian as well, who was so close, but there she is. Absolutely phenomenal. Are people honestly going to stop watching because Sasha's climbed? Is that really an opinion?
C'est vraiment une nation exceptionnelle. Vive le Japon, on l'applaudit encore une dernière fois, Momoka Oda, qui sera elle aussi présente au championnat du monde à Bercy. Et si elle continue comme ça...
A lot of conjecture in the chat room talking about whether they think the route is too easy or not. I can tell you it's an 8B. I'm just going to try and see what's going on with the officials here.
Yes, there's a complete confab going on here. I'm not sure what's being said. There are foot gestures being made.
Alors attention, la prochaine qui fera son entrée dans un instant. Alors
we're going to have a chat here.
Sheila's going to go and have a chat to find out what's going on with Sasha.
5 victoires en 2011, 2 victoires aussi en Coupe du Monde de bloc. Le reste des 4
Fantastic point, SMC. That's what I'm loving. Greetings, hello, how are we all in the chat room? My name's Daniel Finn. How are you guys doing this evening? I would assume quite good, especially as we're about to watch the world number 1. It's Mina Markovic. Hello, Steve Mack. It's nice to see so many of you coming back time and time again. So, Mina Markovic. Definitely not one to turn away from now. In the qualifications, 2 tops. In the semis, 53 plus, so she was in the lower 4. You know, we had a 4-way split in our semis coming through to our finals. 4 our climbers with the 53 plus, and 4 of them with the 55 plus. It's split in the middle there, but Mina Markovic was in that 53 plus category, the lower category. Our 24-year-old climber from Slovenia, world ranked number 1. World Cup ranking at the end of 2011 was number 1. World Cup ranking at the end of 2010 was number 2. World Cup ranking this year currently, it's number 1 again. Who is going to stop Mina Markovic? Is this wall going to stop Mina Markovic? Now we've got some tight shots here as well. Look at the epic level back muscles. Unbelievable back muscles. Her lats are just insane.
Sur Briançon, elle sera présente à IFSC. Par contre, elle avait terminé deuxième l'année dernière.
Mina Markovic, first at Chamonix just recently, second at Vienna 2012, first at Log Dragomer 2012. That was the bouldering though, because she boulders as well. First at Barcelona in 2011. I'm just going to bring you up to speed with her top 12. In her top 12 results, not one of them is below third, and 8 of them are firsts. It's just unbelievable. Who is going to stop Mina Markovic? I don't know. Sheila, do you have news for us on Sasha?
I do.
Sheila,
Would you like me to share it with you?
I want you to share it with us, yes.
I shall do that.
Sorry, I was on a rampage.
No, it's fine. It seems that lower down in the route, quite low down in the route, in fact, Sasha had a foot on one of the bolts, but she didn't actually use it to gain advantage.
That's
you know,
what it's
as
all
in
about.
she didn't
I was
push off
talking to
on
the
it.
judges. Yeah.
At the time when, well, according to the head judge anyway, when they looked back at the video, when she went to move on, her foot had already come off it. That's the way it's looking at the minute. So it looks like she's maintaining her current standing.
Right, okay, so no change there for Sasha. She's still got that 59 plus. Don't panic, it's all okay. Used one of the bolts. Sorry, I will rephrase that entirely. Put a foot on one of the bolts, but did not use it. And that's what it's all about. I was talking to some of the judges earlier, and the whole incident with Jakob Schubert in Chamonix was obviously that he'd used that bolt to push himself onto the top of the wall. You can touch any part of the wall as long as you're not using every part of the wall. You should only use the routes that are set there. So no change for Sasha there. She's going to keep that 59 plus.
I should just correct something I said earlier. I said that Helene was tied with Mina for the, you know, the countback and everything. That's of course a load of rubbish. It's Helene and Johanna Ernst. So used to seeing Mina in first place that it just didn't sound right not to be using her name. But anyway, she's showing off her amazing strength here. Her back muscles are just like something out of a
I like to call them epic level back muscles.
What?
They're epic level back muscles.
Epic, yes, truly Ben-Hur proportioned back muscles.
I'm just going to bring you up to score here. There's our results as they stand at the moment. Momoka Oda with the top. You can see Mina just pushing into the 38th hold now. Momoka Oda on top there. Sasha DiGiulian 59 plus. Yuka Kobayashi at 38 plus. So some really, really high climbs. It's going to be close, I think. This is our 4th climber, and we have 4 left to go. That is correct, DJ. How are we in the chat?
Our French speaker is just making a comment about getting the crowd behind Mina so that she'll kind of move a bit quicker, and because that's the only way she's going to be able to beat Momoka now. And of course, the faster she tries to climb, the more she's likely to make a mistake. Personally, I'm not a great fan of this. If it's turning into a speed competition, we'll just call it speed climbing, we'll all go home.
Well, it is count back first and then time. But the problem that happens here with Momoka Oda and Mina Markovic is that both of them in the qualifications had 2 tops, and both of them in the semi-finals scored 53 plus, which means that it is time. Which is weird, is it not? How are we all feeling about that? How are we feeling about it coming down to the time thing? She's currently on 4 minutes 44. There are our top 3 as they stand. Momoka Oda has a top.
We've got the Slovenian coach behind us going, Aida, Aida, that's how you say come on, Dina, in Slovenian. I think this whole time thing, there's a fine line, because in the 80s, they used to have no time limits whatsoever, and they would take 20 minutes to climb a 10-meter wall and be like, boom, rest, and it was really boring to watch. But you don't want to get into a situation either where you completely pervert the sport for the sake of making good telling, if you like.
But it does look like it's going to come down to that time thing. I'm not jinxing anything, I'm not saying anything more, because I don't want to jinx anything, and I know you guys hate that. And yeah, I have to agree with Carlos from Billy there on that one. The timing is a bit of a strange thing. It's just an 8B, guys. The route is just an 8B. I was speculating about the 8B plus before we began because there are 60 holes on the wall. Mina Markovic, our second top of the day, and she did it at exactly 6 minutes. Now let's find out what Momoka Oda did it in earlier, and let's see whether that puts Mina Markovic in first or second place, because that's what it's going to come down to, guys. It's going to come down to that.
Bon, alors, ça on peut le dire, c'est la quatrième. La voie, elle est facile. Ça on peut le dire, pas facile, mais...
Oui, elle est relativement facile, bien sûr. Pour nous, elle serait extrême. Mais pour ces compétitrices très entraînées, ça a l'air assez facile. Donc,
on applaudit encore une fois. Allez, elle vous fait signe, Mina Markovic, regardez ça.
Forcément, elle est un peu déçue parce qu'elle
Well, there we are.
découvre avec un truc...
Mina Markovic, our second top. The clock has stopped at 6 minutes 3, but I'm sure she hit that top at 6 minutes. And it looks like it's going to come down to time.
Disons qu'en plus, elle n'a pas été, comme on disait, en performance en demi-finale, elle sort pas la voie.
Yeah, the gut feeling is that Momoka was slower, but I don't have the actual time.
So yeah, it's looking like Momoka climbed slower. As Sheila just said, we're not sure about the exact time yet, but we'll try and get it for you. I'm loving that point, Kenji. Yeah, that's definitely something we want to include. How long it takes to tell you or not. The wall's 15 meters, so it might be deceptive, but it is the same size as the wall we had in Chamonix.
Well, if you can hear the crowd, it's because it's our first French climber, Charlotte Durif. If you want to talk about time, I could talk to you about Charlotte for years because she takes that long to get up the wall. She's been told many, many times she's far too slow. Oh, thank you, Theory X. Oh, it's very close, isn't it? Yeah, Charlotte ran out of time yesterday on her second qualification route. She actually made it to the top, but 4 seconds after she should have. So she didn't come out amongst the first climbers, but she's definitely technically capable of doing this route. The problem is going to be time because she takes phenomenal rest. On a 6-minute passage in qualification, she actually spent 1 minute and 15 seconds hanging off the underhang before she carried on and finished the route and then ran out of time. But 1 minute 15 of a rest in a 6-minute route is like, it's taking the mick nearly.
Well, we know now that it is going to be about this time thing. I mean, if Charlotte Durif tops now, it's going to change things a little bit because Charlotte Durif has a score of 55 plus from the semi-finals, which would mean that she would be above Mina Markovic as we go to count back before time. In the qualifications, though, Charlotte Durif with a score of 43 plus and a 43. But Charlotte has got that 55 plus, and that 55 plus I think is going to make the difference because the countback would surely go to the semis first. Charlotte Durif, 21-year-old athlete, born in Belay, world rank number 8. We are watching the best climbers in the world. World Cup ranking at the end of 2011 was 9th. World Cup ranking 2010, 6th. And she currently stands at 12 on the world rankings, the World Cup rankings rather, for 2012. First at Chamonix, 2010, 6th here last year. So she was in the final, another one again to be in the final here last year.
You have to bear in mind that Charlotte is, this is her first year as a senior and she's doing some quite high-level studies at the same time. So she maybe hasn't quite had the training that she would have wanted.
Cam, that's a really interesting point. I don't think the climbers will know that it's about time in the ISO. I would assume that as the female athletes come off, maybe they might talk to them and say this is what's going on, but
I think
that's
it's
what
fair
ISO
to
is all
say
about.
that the climbers know what the rules are. It all gets explained at a technical meeting at the beginning of the meet,
But
before
the
the
thing is,
qualifications.
well, they knew that the results for the semis were tight. They knew that we've got just the, there's only actually 2
Oh, I
results
see.
for
Do
the
they
semis
actually know what the
for
times
the climbers
were?
back
Yeah.
there.
Well,
They
that's-
don't know out the front whether
I don't
that it's
believe-
now, that we've had so many close calls and that it has now started to come down to a time thing, which is a shame, right? I mean, that could change the way that they're climbing. But it did seem to me that when Charlotte Durif just came out,
seems to be going a lot faster than
she's really moving, isn't she? So what I assume has happened is that one of the climbers from earlier has gone backstage and just said at the ISO, in a friendly kind of way, this is what's happening out front. And of course they are listening as well. They can hear that everyone...
Well, nobody can go in and out of isolation. Once you go in, you stay and you can't come back out.
When they're coming back round though, surely?
They don't go back into the isolation area, they go back into the public.
Oh, right, okay. So it's going to be very
That's the whole point of isolation, to keep them isolated. Those who have been and those who haven't been yet, so... But of course the concern here, if you're French, which I am, is that Charlotte is changing her climbing style to take into account this time rule, and she'll just completely run out of pump at the end. But then she may well just decide to spend 2 minutes hanging around here and admire the scenery.
So yes, 15 meters, this wall. 15 meters, I'll keep reiterating that, and the route is an 8B, I know that you're getting it at the moment. Currently on 4 minutes, 15 seconds though, so quickly approaching that 6 minute mark, which could make a difference depending on the top.
It's
But
fairly
it is going to go to
academic.
count back first, and that would mean that if we get a top hit from Charlotte Durif, it would put her into first place.
Talking about the height of the wall, the 17 meters or 15 meters is fairly academic when they're zigzagging backwards and forwards like they're doing on this route. And you have to bear in mind the development of the roof. So it might be 17 meters or 15 meters off the ground, but there's a lot more than 15 or 17 meters worth of climbing in it.
C'est tout ça qui fait sa particularité, tous ces temps de repos qui finalement sont pas des vrais temps de repos, hein. Ça épuise ses athlètes, mais elle arrive à les gérer. Allez!
Charlotte is the biggest record holder in the French climbing, women's climbing, possibly men's as well when I think about it. She was world champion in every category from youth A through, apart from one where she got knocked off by the time.
Just to take you through Charlotte Durif's previous results: 7th at Cranch 2011, 6th at Amman 2011, 5th at Shaanxi in 2011, and 6th at Xining 2011. She's currently holding a world ranking of 8th. And on the World Cup circuit so far this year, due to her only result so far, as we've only had one lead competition before this one, she's in 12th at the moment.
French crowd really hoping that Charlotte will be able to top this the same as the previous climbers.
Vizsla, not Alex Puccio's sibling, Alex Puccio's mum. It's Kim.
She's got another 2 minutes to go in her time.
Kim is in the chat room. And so's Graham. We all love Graham.
Thank you for the congrats for the comments. We're both going to be voiceless tomorrow because the racket here is amazing. Charlie's pumping up the volume, trying to edge Charlotte on. No bias there, I don't think.
Well,
And
Charlotte
the
is on 6 minutes 30 now.
Yeah.
That just shows you the difference of where she is on the wall
Yeah,
and how Mina Markovic finished.
She had a
She
good
did it in 6 minutes.
20 or 30 seconds on that football there.
But that's the difference with the whole speed thing that we're talking about. This is going to go to count back first. And Mina Markovic had a score of 53 plus in the semi-finals, and Charlotte Durif had a score of 55 plus, which means that if she does it, and she gets the first. So a first knockback there for time, and the whole timing shenanigans that we're talking about here.
Well, she's definitely had a word with herself this afternoon because the semi, the commentator, the speaker here was actually saying, do you do it on purpose, playing with my nerves? Like, pushing it to the limit of the time. And she said, no, not really. Time's going by now, though. She started to slow up. We've only got another 30 seconds, which should be enough. But
the crowd know it as well as we do. They're desperately trying to drive her up this wall now. Yeah. The crowd, the French crowd, desperately sending her there. They know just as well as we do that if she gets this, then she will take the gold medal position at the moment here in the finals. Besting Mina Markovic due to it. And she's done it and made the last move look easy. Unbelievable. Charlotte Durif tops out here with a time of 7 minutes 50, but it doesn't matter at the moment because Charlotte has a 55 plus in the semi-finals. Still 3 climbers to go. And remember, guys, that all 3 of the climbers yet to come now all have the same results in the semi-finals. Charlotte Durif had a 55 plus, yes, and that means that for the previous 4 that have climbed, she will best them with that top, even though Momoka Oda and Mina Markovic have topped as well. But Katharina Posch, Helene Janicot and Johanna Ernst, if they top in less time, it's going to come down to that as well. And actually, the one that would pip it, what it's going to come down to is that if Helene Janicot and Johanna Ernst, if both of those climbers top, it will become a time thing between the 2 of them for the gold and silver medal
Well,
position.
it's working out to be quite a
The
finish.
countbacks are exactly the same. Helene Janicot 55 plus in the semi-finals and 2 tops in the qualifications, and exactly the same for Johanna Ernst.
Repeat after me, Helene Janicot. Repeat after me, Helene Janicot.
C'est une très grande championne.
I said Janicot.
Et elle nous la sort, la joie.
I did indeed.
Alors, par contre, le truc qui est moins drôle, c'est
Anyway, did you see that flash of a smile from Charlotte Durif? She is made up and quite right too. She's a beautiful person. She comes and trains at my club quite often, and I've got to know her quite well. She's got a lot of time for the kids that come and train, and she thought she was coming to Voiron to train one time, and she spent an hour signing autographs for the kids, and then there was an invitational event in Japan not long after the Fukushima accident, and she earned some money for climbing there. She did quite well, and she left it all to the Red Cross, and that's the kind of girl that Charlotte is, so fair play to her.
Well, just to have a little look now at the lead results as they stand at the moment. Mina Markovic at the top there, Momoka Oda in second, Sasha DiGiulian at 59 plus, and Yuka Kobayashi at 58 plus. And the thing that we're working at in the future is going to be the timing score of future events as well. The height is there, but we're going to start giving you the times as well. Also, this hasn't been updated yet, but we did just see Charlotte Durif top, and with the countback system as it stands, it means that Charlotte Durif is going to be in first, and we'll drop down from there.
And when we put Charlotte's score up, is that going to be including the countback, or is it just going to be on the strength of what they've done tonight? It's just the scores for tonight,
I believe that the judges will update it so that Charlotte will be at the top there, so we'll be able to see it because they're from the judges.
Right. Well, there's a nice close-up on one of these big holes, like you can see them from down here. There is actually quite a bit of grit to it, but again, go back to what we said in the first place, you go from crimps to big wide hand holes, it's a killer. But look, we're
definitely going to be building up the lactic acid in the hands there and causing some problems for the climber as they move on. As we were saying, those results that are coming in for you are from the IFSC website. They're being updated by the judges straight away from the live results that are coming in. They are correct as they stand, apart from, of course, for the 20-minute appeal window that I keep talking about as well. Remember that, guys, that there is that 20-minute appeal just after we finish the competition, so that won't start until the final climber has climbed, if there are any appeals. But we are here now with Katharina Posch, our world ranked number 4. World Cup ranking at the end of 2011 was 5th. World Cup ranking at the end of 2010 was 11th. And currently, as she stands at the moment on the World Cup this year, she's 11th, due to coming at that rank at Chamonix just recently. 17 years old, Katharina Posch, the youngest climber in the final here, only 17 years old and already world ranked 4th. 3rd at Cranch 2011, 2nd at Valence 2011, 3rd at Zinning in the same year, 1st at the Cranch Female Youth A Lead European Youth Series in 2010, and 5th at the Climbing World Championships in Arco in 2011. She's currently on 2 minutes 30 seconds on the 22nd hold here. What are our thoughts for Katharina Posch? Are we going to see a top here?
I saw Zafi saying earlier on that he thought it was boring route setting. I think it's more the point that these girls are just so good that they make it look easy, and we all kind of underestimated them, including the route setters. If it all comes down to that final jump and time, it's going to be a real shame. But believe me, that was not the case in the semis and the qualifiers, where there really was a good spread There were a couple of major sticking points, but once you got past those, there was a real spread between the climbers. So I think that's a little unfair. And Ed, I know for a fact you did not set these routes because you're not here.
What are we thinking for Katharina Posch then? I want to see some ideas of what we're thinking. Let's have a little look.
Il n'y a pas beaucoup de Français sur le chat là, vous êtes où? And the women beside the commentator, that's me. Shop original, it's my name's Sheila. I commented last year because because John was very sick and I just happened to be here and spoke English. And they've been nice enough to ask me to come back and co-comment with Daniel.
Well, here we are. And we'd like to thank Sheila's entire family for the help as well all the way through this competition on camera work for us when some of our camera operators went for walkies. Sheila was there every time. And so
for a Scotswoman, they call me the Swiss Army knife. It seems a bit strange, but that's true. That's my nickname. Salut Climber 74, tu vas bien?
So, Katharina Posch, that's the results of this stand at the moment. Charlotte Durif, there you can see it has been updated. Durif is now at the top of the leaderboard in the gold medalist position. You can see the gold, silver, bronze lines on there. Mina Markovic underneath, currently sitting in silver, and Momoka Oda in bronze. And it's going to be such a shame if it does go right back into that time situation, because imagine topping and then realising that even though you've topped on the wall, you didn't top good enough, or you haven't topped good enough in one of the previous rounds.
I wouldn't have imagined she's going to have a lot of problem with the final move anyway, because she's one of the taller climbers. Assuming she gets past this bit, of course, which doesn't look all that obvious. Her left elbow's up. Yeah, she's definitely not happy with this section here, but, you know, she has some time left. She has a lot of time left, in fact. 2.5 minutes to figure this one out. Okay, she seems to have figured out what she wants to do next, and here she goes. The wind is picking up, you can see it in her hair. She is not a happy bunny. No, she's down.
Not enough though, so there we are, seeing our first hint that the route might not be as easy as it looks in the final section there. She's trying to push for that time limit though, because we want to try and get the climbs faster, because it's become about a time thing here. She obviously had some inkling about that because she was pushing for it there.
Yeah, Daniel, she had a full 2 minutes left, and they tend to have watches and things on their harnesses to tell them what the time is. So yeah. I don't know. No, she just didn't seem very happy with that whole section once she got past the central section and was moving over to the triangles. She just didn't seem to get it, didn't seem to understand what the route setters were expecting. Well, it's a shame for her, but it's obviously good news for those who have already gone up to the top.
Fais-nous des zooms un peu là, qu'on reconnaisse des gens. Je sais pas, il y a peut-être ma famille, c'est pas ta femme? Non? Si vous êtes avec votre maîtresse, allongez-vous tout de suite si la caméra vient sur vous, s'il vous plaît. Regardez, voilà, il y a quelqu'un qui a les deux mains qui dit bonjour. Et là, Philippe, l'année prochaine, il faudrait mettre un slogan du style Phil grimpe.
Well, she's no younger. I'm sorry, I'm just answering Naze1, who's on the chat. She's no younger and no less experienced than Momoka Oda, for example. Oh, certainly her time will come to answer you again, but no, it's just not an easy route. All right, I'm going to apologise in advance because this is now Helene Janicot, who I have seen climb since she was a youth. She comes to Lyon quite often to train, and my family's more or less adopted her, and I get very emotional when she climbs, and if she tops this, I'm just going to go mental, and I may well cry, and I don't care. She was having a disaster at the French Championships. She forgot a clip early on in the route, ended up last when she was a clear favourite after the semis. So there was a lot of soul searching and what have you, and then she came back and proved to everybody that she really deserves her place here, because she was in the final at Chamonix that is, and she came fourth, just at the foot of the podium. But the fact that she made that final means that we will see her at the World Championships in Bercy in Paris in September, and that's fantastic. And that just seems to have liberated her, the fact that she made the final. The pressure was all on her, but she's made it. She's got her place booked for Bercy, and really looking forward to seeing her there. She climbs for the club Rappel, which is in the centre of France, and they didn't have a great climbing structure, but since she's been getting the success that she's had, they've actually updated the wall, and they had a French Cup there, I believe. She does sports studies, and she's going to be doing English next year at university. So we might get a chance to speak to her. Might get a chance to speak to her later on.
Well, now, as I said earlier, it's going to come down to, by the look of things at the moment, Helene Janicot and Johanna Ernst, because they're the two highest ranked climbers coming out of the qualifications and the semis. They had identical climbs in the qualifications and in the semi-finals, 2 tops each in the qualifications and a 55 plus in the semi-finals, which means that if they both top here, it's going to be all about time. And currently, Helene Janicot still is less than 2 minutes, and she's already at the roughly halfway point on the wall here.
And it's looking a bit tense, to be honest. But to answer someone who's saying they've never heard of me, well, I'm not the important person here tonight. It's the climbers. But I'm originally from Scotland, as Graham quite rightly pointed out. Come on, Helene! Allez, Helene, allez!
Hopefully you guys can hear us again now.
The crowd are going mental here.
Thankfully, I'm so sorry for the
Allez,
technical
allez!
issues we've
Just
just
go,
had
Helene,
here.
allez, allez!
There is no excuse, but we are back now.
Oh, yes!
Tops out on the wall with a time of 5 minutes 40 seconds. I think it's near 5 minutes 38. So we can
5 minutes 40, she did it,
Right
she did
moment
it.
then. Look at Helene Janicot.
Oh, she's good.
Run of her home.
Helene, she never really
Absolutely
shows her
nothing. I am
feelings.
so sorry for the technical difficulties we just had. I cannot believe that we lost pitch there for a second. Can't apologise enough for that, but thank goodness we didn't miss Helene Janicot top the wall here in Briançon. Here she is coming down to the ground to give the crowd a wave now. She's going to be very pleased with that. I think the time was roughly 5 minutes 38.
Hélène, on t'aime. C'est bon ça, hein? 4e la semaine dernière. Et là, regarde, il va encore.
So I am so sorry for the problem that we had just a second ago, but there's a smile to hopefully get you guys smiling back there as well. We are about to bring out our next and final climber, and that's going to be Johanna Ernst. And if she can do it in less than 5 minutes 38 seconds, she'll take the gold here instead of Helene Janicot. If she can't, Helene Janicot will take it because it comes to the countback, and that's going to be the fact that Helene Janicot and Johanna Ernst have the 55 plus both in the semis and 2 tops on both of their problems in the qualifications.
Sorry about the squealing there. I did warn you I might get a bit emotional. And you saw Helene when she was coming down, she was clapping and getting the crowd behind her as well, and she was just over the moon to pull that one off, so that's brilliant.
So just to repeat there for a second, what we're now looking at as Johanna Ernst takes to the stage. We'll start to show you her kicking off here in Briançon. She's now getting ready to start on the wall. She is here, ready to go. If Johanna Ernst can do this in less than 5 minutes and 38 seconds,
okay, here goes Johanna Ernst.
she is going to be our gold medalist here. She has to top to do that, and she has to do it in less than 5 minutes 38 seconds.
But of course she doesn't know that she has to do it in that time.
Schlumpf, just to talk to you about that for a second there. Yes, I do believe that we will be able to get some coverage, well, all of the coverage of Helene Janicot making that climb just now on the YouTube channel.
Because she pulled it off really nicely, it has to be said. So Johanna Ernst is coming back this season after a number of injuries. She was off the scene for quite a while. We saw her last year in Valence, where she was in the final. But she had a bit of a gap there because of injury. I'm just trying to read Danielle's notes here. In the semis, she did 55 plus, and she topped the 2 qualifying routes. She's only 19, remember. So when I say she's had a couple of seasons out for injury, it tells you. She was, I believe, the World Youth B champion, and she's got quite the trophy cupboard. She's 4th at the World Championships in Arco in 2011. She won at Chamonix in 2009. She won at the World Championships when she was only 15 years old. She was the only one who got to the top of that particular route in Shanghai in 2009.
Became a world champion at 15 years old. This
Everybody said
15
she's got
years
a
old.
huge
She's the youngest ever climber to be a world champion.
Yeah. Everybody said she had a huge future, and then she had all these injury problems. On there, she's really showing us how to work on your abdominal muscles.
Let's see if we can get some support now for Johanna Ernst in the chat room. Are you guys rooting for Johanna, or are you rooting for Helene Janicot? How is the chat room split as it stands at the moment? It's so tense here. It's all going to be about time because they have identical scores from the semis and from the qualifications. Johanna Ernst currently on the 24th hold there, bringing that up for you. Who are we rooting for, guys? Who do we want to win this? It's going to be between the two of them if she tops.
Allez, John, allez! Austria, wake up!
Strong Austrian team here as usual. They always put them out in force. I think there was 5 or 6 women in the team, and of course there's the men to come.
Actually, I was talking to Pierre-Henri earlier about the preparations for the World Championships, and he's saying actually one of the best things about climbing at the moment is that the difference is that when they were struggling in the past to fill the spaces for the individual countries to come to the World Cups and to the World Championships, now they're inundated with such a pool of phenomenally talented climbers swarming around trying to get into these competitions, and then unfortunately they can only choose a select few to go.
That's right, and it's good news for us to come to the competitions or watch them online, because basically between now and September, most people are going to be doing IMST and hanging around in Europe so that they're not suffering from jet lag and what have you. And it just means we're going to see all the best climbers gradually coming, hopefully, to their peak and give us the best show possible in September. It's just going to be mental. I'm really looking forward to it. We've been excited about this since we knew it was happening. Okay, that's
the grade on this route is a 8B, and here you can see the current tops as they stand at the moment. Helene Janicot in gold place position, Charlotte Durif in silver, and Mina Markovic in 3rd due to the countback system as it stands at the moment. Those results from the semis are suddenly oh so important. There's where the rest of them stand. But if Johanna Ernst gets up there now, Mina Markovic won't medal here.
Okay,
despite currently being first on the World Cup rankings 2012 and being first on the world rankings.
Sorry, you're asking on the chat what's the clock. It's 4 minutes 38 as I speak. The clock is at the bottom of the route, so 4 minutes 46, 7, 8 for Johanna Ernst.
Okay guys, just in the chat room, I know a lot of you are asking about the time. It's currently 4 minutes 55 seconds. 4 minutes 56, 57, 58, 59. 5 minutes. She has 38 seconds. 38 seconds to top out here. Is she going to do it? This is going to be so close.
She's having a think and she's running out of time. That's 5:15, 5:16. I'm not going to be responsible for my language if she runs out of time here.
She has to push for this now. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Johanna has to push for this if she's gonna take the gold medal. Of course, if she tops anyway, she's secured herself a second place, a silver medal here, which is still phenomenal. But the crowd wanted to do it. It's 5 minutes 45 seconds. 6, 7, 8. It looks like.
I've just remembered this is 8 minutes, not 6.
C'est un appui sur la main droite.
It's 8 minutes for the final. She's got another 2 minutes to go.
On va l'aider quand même à le trouver, hein. C'est dommage, elle a fait 80% de la voie. Allez, go!
I know a lot of you were talking about the time, and we really wanted to get there. But remember, guys, the time was one of those things we were talking about not liking so much earlier. Let's just watch one of the best climbers in the entire world do exactly what she's best at, which is some phenomenal climbing right now.
6
And
minutes
this is what
30.
we want to see.
Johanna took
And the
her.
crowd want to see it too as they pick up here, shouting at her. Come on, Johanna, you can do this. The top is in sight. She just has to bear over to the right a little bit. A few holes and then that'll be it. It's coming. She's going to get there, I think. 6 minutes 59, 7 minutes now. For Johanna Ernst, top stairs. 7 minutes, and she's so pleased with that. Bless her. I think she just bashed her knee.
Good job.
I think she might have just bashed her knee.
Alors messieurs dames, il y a une petite fille, une petite Pauline. Colline, 3 ans, qui a un pantalon rose. Est-ce que quelqu'un a une petite...
Well, there you have it, guys.
And 2
The
seconds.
female final. Oh, sorry.
7 minutes, 2 seconds and 30, whatever.
On the clock, but I think just before that possibly was the top.
Quite
Seems
possibly.
to be the clock stopping just after they top.
Yeah.
Now, what was Helene Janicot's
On peut leur
score?
faire une dernière ovation, s'il vous plaît, public, vous avez
can't
été
remember.
extraordinaire.
Oh, my husband's looking incredibly
I do
happy.
believe
He
it was
seems to think that
quicker.
Helene was quicker.
I think it was.
2 médailles pour la France, 2.
2 medals for France. Fantastic.
Et une médaille pour l'Autriche. On attendra confirmation, bien sûr.
So we're just waiting for confirmation that Helene may well have pulled this off.
Vous avez aussi la buvette, le don du sang. Buvez une bière, faites-vous plaisir, communiquez, on se retrouve dans 1 heure. Vous allez avoir des démonstrations.
There's going to be an hour's gap here before the men start. They're going to start dismantling this route and putting the men's route up. There's going to be some high line demonstration here. So here's what they're showing us for now. No, it's not up to date, unfortunately. Yep, Scott, I think you're right. I think it's France first and third. To DJ, no. David didn't make it past the semis, so no British climbers after that. Yeah, Paul, I think we're going to try and get an interview with 1 or 2 people so that they can give their opinion on that.
Do you realise how close that was?
Yes, I realize. Oh my goodness. Oh, she's going to go to the top with less time. But
Were you watching out here?
I was here to watch Johanna.
Did you know before you came out what the results
Yes,
were?
I heard the noise and I know that the route was going to the top several times.
So it came down to the time thing. We had that split. We had that split between the 53 plus places from the semi-finals to the 55 plus, and you were in that bracket, and it came down between you and Johanna Ernst. Just how was the wall?
The what?
The wall, the route. How was the route?
She was. It was really good. It was really nice to climb. A really nice route. It was long, but very nice. All the route of the competitions I like all.
Okay, I've just got to introduce you guys to this lady here. I can't believe people are asking who this person is. Who is this person? Unbelievable. This is Helene Janicot. This is our current, well, it is our gold medalist for the women's final here in Briançon 2012. It's come down to a time thing. It's come to a count back and a time thing. Helene, how are you feeling?
It's just amazing. I don't hope to win. Just I just thought if I can go on the podium, it's just amazing, and I'm on the first place there. It's just amazing. I can't believe it.
Well, it's definitely going to send you through to the championships now as well in Paris. Are you looking forward to them?
Yes, I hope I will do something really good there in France.
Congratulations, Helene.
Thanks.
Well done on the gold medal, Helene Janicot. Right, I'm going to go hunting again.
Des femmes qui sont passées tout à l'heure, on a vu un spectacle super du côté des filles et on s'attend là, côté des garçons, à ce que l'ambiance monte d'un cran, notamment quand le Briançonnais, le local de l'étape, Manuel Romain va passer, suivi du Chamonniard, qui sera aussi très soutenu, on n'a pas douté, Romain Desgranges. Et on aura après deux très gros clients, à savoir les deux meilleurs des derniers championnats du monde. Julian Hublanquier et Jacob Schubert. Et là, vraiment, on va faire mieux. Voilà, le décor est planté. On a effectivement les deux favoris.
Well, what a phenomenal final that we've just had. Conjecture in the chat rooms about how difficult the route was. It was an 8B, I heard, from our head route setter here, which is Alberto, the Italian route setter. We're just getting set up now again for our men's final, which is due to go live at 10 o'clock. I'm going to go round just for a second now. I'm going to find a few more of the female climbers and try and have a little chat to them about their experiences on the wall, because I know a lot of you were debating what the wall was like today. There's a crane coming at me, so I'm going to have to move very shortly as they're getting ready for the men's finals. But I will try and go and find Johanna Ernst to talk to her about how she feels, and also Mina Markovic about getting to the top there and unfortunately coming to that countback thing of that split between 53 plus and a 55 plus that's made the difference between her having a medal here and her not medaling at all. So bear with us, we're going to go and find some interviews for you and I'll be with you in just a second.
Au moins pour le podium et pourquoi pas pour la victoire. Ça va être difficile, mais on y croit. Voilà, on a vu tout à l'heure Charlotte Durif faire le maximum. Elle a fait le spectacle. C'est pas monté aussi haut qu'on aurait pu l'espérer. Mais voilà, elle a mis beaucoup de cœur dans son escalade. On est sûr que du côté de Manuel Romain et de Romain Desgranges, nos deux Français ont encore beaucoup d'envie, une très grosse ambiance. On s'en réjouit d'avance. Voilà, en effet, ils étaient tous les deux présents en finale sur la première étape de Coupe du Monde. Ce qu'il faut savoir en escalade, on a 3 disciplines qui sont représentées. Il y a le bloc, la vitesse et la difficulté. Donc ce soir, on a le plaisir de voir la difficulté.
Well, we have managed to track down Johanna Ernst. We're going to have to start having a conversation from the top now. So, how was the wall first off?
Nice.
You had more time to think. The wall was nice. Okay, good. What particularly about the wall was nice? What with the route?
I don't know, it's like a pretty simple wall, just like this, and roof and the end. But they made up really nice route and it was amazing.
Did you know that it was going to come down to a time thing at all?
Yeah, I noticed. But I didn't expect me to make it up to the top.
You didn't think you were going to make the top?
No, because it looked really hard and I was close to the top and I was super pumped. I couldn't move anymore and then I made it.
Did you know in the ISO at all about, I mean, obviously you can hear the crowd and how long it takes and things like that, but did you know that it was going to be a time thing? Did everybody back there know that?
I expected that Helene does the top because I heard it, but yeah.
You didn't know about the times, and you obviously didn't know how fast she did it.
Yeah, it's
There was a moment right at the top that I think a lot of people, especially in the chat room, were going, go, push for it. And you could see that you've got that lactic build up there that you were just trying to shake out the hands. Was it a difficult wall for you? Because people are talking about that as well.
It was okay. It was quite different, but at the end it was like confusing. I didn't know how to do it because from the ground it looked pretty simple for me, but
up there, it was like, I didn't know what to do. I just did it somehow.
I just did it. That's a great answer. How was the wall? I just did it. It was nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so are we going to see you at the World Championships in Paris?
Yeah,
Yes,
for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And a silver medal for you here. So
Thank
surely
you.
you're utterly psyched, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am.
I have to ask you this as well. Did you bang your knee as you came off the wall just?
The knee?
Yeah, your knee. As you kind of jumped out, waved at the crowd, turned around, and then I thought I saw you catch your knee.
No.
You're okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay,
I'm totally
unscathed.
fine.
I'm here with an unscathed Johanna Ernst, the silver medalist here at Briançon 2012. Johanna, anything you want to say to people back home in Austria?
Hi.
She likes to keep it short and sweet. We'll leave it there. Thank you, Johanna. Congratulations. See you soon. Bye-bye. Okay, I've got Mina Markovic waiting as well, so I think we'll go straight over to Mina, if that's okay with everyone in the chat room. Navigating some people. Stay with us. Right, okay, I'm over here. Mina, how was the final?
Like really easy. I think the final was easier than even the both qualification routes. And I don't know, the route the other way is nice and the line is nice, but just if the holds would be a little not so juggy, I think we could had really more interesting final, even for the spectaculars to watch. Either my opinion is that it is really nice to see the top in the final, but to see, I don't know, 6 or however tops in the final, I don't think this is the way we want to do. So congratulations to all the other climbers for sure, all my respect, but I think it's just not the best way for climbing.
Yeah, and did you know at all in the back, when you were back in the ISO, that it was going to come down to a time thing? I mean, from hearing things going out in the front, did you know anything that was happening?
Yeah, even on observation, when I could observe the holds with those things, I saw the holds are quite good, but I said, okay, maybe it could surprise me somewhere, but when I saw competition, how it's going on, I know the only thing what I can do is go faster than Momoka, and that's it.
Okay, so are you obviously going to take some time now to get ready for some of the next World Cups that are coming up? Are we going to see you in Munich for the final of the bouldering this year as well?
Yeah, sure, you will see me in Munich, and for sure I will train hard, I will prepare myself for hard routes, and I also expect them on the competitions.
Okay, Mina, thank you so much for talking to us every time, and I'll see you again Imst as well, yes?
Yeah, sure, you will see me in Imst because it's same with the Adidas Master, but I prefer World Cup, so I'm sorry that I can go on a boat. Otherwise, I would have.
No, but great, we get to see you here on IFSC, so that's brilliant.
Sure,
Thank
okay.
you, Mina. Take care.
Have a nice time.
Bye-bye. That was Mina Markovic. Talking about topping and not making it through and not medaling, it's confusing, but that's the way it stands. I'm going to try and find Charlotte Durif for us now. Give me a couple of seconds and I'll come back to you with that one while they start setting up the wall here for the men's final. I'll be a couple of seconds and I'll come back to you.
Tous ces grimpeurs, tous les Français, contre le PB pour cette grande compétition. On s'en réjouit, Rémi. Il sera peut-être sur l'antenne d'Orange Sport Event. En attendant, on va se régaler du programme de cette finale à Briançon avec nos deux Français. On est toujours sur les images de la finale féminine que vous avez pu suivre tout à l'heure avec la Slovène Markovic qui a pris la seconde position tout à l'heure. Elle est allée aussi haut que sa compatriote, mais avec des moins performantes en demi-finale. Donc une médaille d'argent dans cette Coupe du Monde pour Markovic. Ça nous permet de redécouvrir ce mur de Briançon, même si là, Rémi, la voie va être complètement changée. Tout à fait, la voie va être différente. Ça va être une voie déjà plus appropriée à la morphologie et aux capacités des garçons. Donc l'escalade, c'est un sport malgré tout. Parfois, il n'y a pas une énorme différence entre les filles et les garçons. Il y a quand même un petit écart. Donc on a parlé tout à l'heure pour la finale femme d'une voie qui devait approcher les 8B+, dans le système de cotation en escalade. Là pour les garçons, il faut plus s'attendre à une voie aux alentours de 8C, 8C+. Donc c'est une cotation et demie supérieure, donc avec sûrement des mouvements un peu plus physiques, et une voie plus soutenue, je pense, dès le départ.
Une voie plus soutenue dès le départ et d'autant plus de spectacle. C'est vrai que la première section de la voie défi ne leur a pas posé beaucoup de problèmes. Jusqu'au surplomb, elles l'ont grimpé avec relativement beaucoup d'aisance. Pour toutes les concurrentes, chez les messieurs, ça risque d'être un petit peu différent et de poser des problèmes dès le début. On s'en réjouit et les jeunes spectateurs de Briançon s'en réjouissent également. Voilà. On prend un peu de temps, Rémi, on fixe les dernières prises, on procède au dernier réglage pour que la compétition puisse se dérouler dans les meilleures dispositions et après on va assister à la présentation déjà de tous ces athlètes qui vont fendre la foule de Briançon comme on a vu les filles tout à l'heure. On aura la présentation.
Well, guys, the stream is now going to stop for about 15 minutes while we reset for the men's final. Don't go anywhere. Those are our top three there. Those are our medalists. Mina Markovic just missing out. Johanna Ernst, Helene Janicot, Charlotte Durif. We're going to be back with you very shortly, about 15 minutes, to start bringing you coverage of the men's finals here in Briançon. I'll see you very shortly.